Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I do want to say that I am at work right now, but I got a little bit of free time. A little bit of time left over in my lunch. I can kind of just, pour into you guys, or I get a little bit of time to talk to you guys. So, yeah, so let's just get to the point. Today, I'm going to be talking about human nature and how every single person, every single human being on this earth has a desire to feel needed, has a desire to feel wanted, has a desire to feel loved. I don't care if they're a criminal, I don't care if they're a judge, I don't care if they're a police officer, I don't care if they're like super famous, or even if they're like, they say they don't like to be around people, they don't want to be around people. Every single person on this earth has a desire to feel needed, wanted, and loved because God puts it inside of us to want to feel needed and loved by other people. And so, the reason why I'm saying all this is because the other day I was talking to God, and this is not going to be a long video, but it's going to be a very encouraging video. And by the end of this video, I promise you're going to feel just stronger, you're going to feel greater, you're going to feel motivated to walk in your purpose and be everything that God has called for you to be. And so I was talking to God not too long ago, and I remember he was talking to me about one of my family members who was in a relationship where she was just feeling completely just dishonored. I mean, she didn't feel needed, she didn't feel wanted, and this guy would constantly tear her down. He would constantly remind her that she could be replaced. He would constantly remind her that he didn't want to be with her. He was abusive, he was very verbally abusive, physically abusive, and he was just very rude to her. And God began to talk to me about her, and how I knew this was real because she actually said it. And God began to talk to me about her, and he's like, daughter, it's not healthy for anybody to be in that kind of situation or to feel unneeded or unwanted, because being in that kind of environment, whether you're at a job, whether you have a career and you're at an agency, you're working for an agency or something, or you're in a family that's abusive or that tears you down every time you try to go and do something great or different from what they've done. He told me that kind of environment is not good for people. It's not good for anybody, because that kind of environment doesn't produce happiness, it doesn't produce love, it doesn't produce greatness, it doesn't produce the great thing. It produces depression, it produces sadness, it produces anger, it produces resistance, unforgiveness. All those things come forth and are produced in that kind of atmosphere and cause people to feel that kind of way, especially if you don't know who you are or what your purpose is. And so, not to switch subjects, but how do you know what your purpose is? How do you know, God, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what am I here for? Like, everybody that is created has a purpose, and they have something that they're good at. And whatever it is that you're super talented, you're super good at, that is where your purpose lies. There's always somebody else who wish that they can do what you're able to do, what you're good at doing, what you're skilled at doing. And so, whatever it is that you're good at, whether you're good at doing nails, doing hair, building furniture, flipping houses, complimenting people, encouraging people. You could be good at being a therapist. You can be good at being a therapist and not even know it. Like, every time you get around people, you encourage them, you uplift them, you make them want to live life again, and you don't even know it, but God has put in you to be a therapist. Or all of your friends who are in relationships come to you and your husband or your spouse or your person you're in a relationship with for advice, because they see how successful you guys' relationship is, and you guys are good at giving that advice. Maybe God is calling you to be a marriage counselor, and so whatever it is that you're good at, do that. You know what I mean? And so this is one of the last things I want to say, but I remember I was working at a job for about a year where I was completely just being just unappreciated. I mean, my boss was just not appreciative of me. They did not really have much respect for me. They did not appreciate my presence being there. And I remember this person would just be very rude to me every single day and just make me feel like, okay, like I just wasn't an asset, and I wasn't needed. And I remember just getting so depressed and getting so down and just like really crying to God, like, God, like I really wanted to do this job, but I feel like I'm not good at it. I feel like I'm not good at anything. Like everything I try, I feel like, and it really was just an excuse. And I was just sad and I was upset. And God kind of had to pull me out of that, because that's just not of Him. You have to be able to know your value and go somewhere where you're actually needed and wanted. And so I remember Him telling me, like, daughter, look at the places where you're applying. You're applying to the typical places where all of your family has always worked. You're not applying it to places where you're actually good at those things, or it's things that you love to do. He said, so instead of being sad, instead of being pitiful, instead of being, oh, woe is me, He said, get up. You know what I'm saying? Apply somewhere else and leave. You don't have to stay there. There's nothing handcuffing you to that job. There's nothing saying that you have to be there. He said, I'll open the door and I'll make it work out for you. And so He's like, but do what you love to do. Don't stay somewhere where you know that this is not something that you really want to do, and this is not what have been created to do, or where you feel underappreciated. But rather go somewhere where your gifts that I put inside of you are needed. You know what I'm saying? And so one thing that I was really good at doing is being like a receptionist. I'm good at computer work. I'm good at filing. I'm very organized. And so I began to apply to places like that. And when I did that, God opened the door immediately, and I was able to leave that job. And the crazy thing is, they really wanted me to stay. They're like, why are you leaving? Like, we'll give you more, an hour. And I'm like, no, this is just not what God has called me to do, and I have to leave. And when I left, when I tell you, it was the best feeling ever, and I just felt so needed at my new job. I mean, every day they were like, hey, Maya, can you do this? Can you do that? And they were just the best. And so why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all this because you don't have to be miserable in a relationship. You don't have to be miserable at a job. You don't have to be miserable being around family members who pull you down. But you have the chance, the choice, and the opportunity to go somewhere where you're needed. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, leave that relationship, trust God, and be around people who love your presence, who love to be around you, who inspire you to be better, who encourage you, and who uplift you, and who need you, who love you, and who let you know that they care about you. If you're at a job where you feel completely and totally disrespected, or you feel like you're not needed there, or you feel like this is not what you're supposed to be doing, don't get sad, don't get down in the dumps. Just switch your gears, and look to a different job that would need you, or do something that you would actually love. There's so many jobs out here that we don't even know about, that if we really have faith and we really trust God, we can do those things that God has called us to do. You know what I mean? And even if you're at a school where you feel like, God, this is not the school for me, I don't know why, but I just don't feel my favor here, go where your favor is. Go to that school where you have favor, and where you know that you'll be doing very good, at that school, and where you'll take off. You know what I mean? Do your research, but don't ever get down. Don't ever get discouraged. Don't ever feel like, man, I just want to give up and I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Keep going. Keep pushing. That's not an excuse to give up. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. I don't care what's going on. There's always somebody who's going through it much worse, who is still successful, who's still doing great things. And so don't allow what you're going through, or the situation that you are in temporarily, to stop you, or to be an excuse from pushing you to be better and to be all that you're called to be. And so that's all that I really wanted to say. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you have any prayer requests or anything that, my lunch is coming to an end, so I'm going to wrap this up. But if you have any prayer requests or anything that you have that come to mind, or like any of your videos requested that you would like to watch, DM me on Instagram if you want, at Myangela M on Instagram, or you can comment down below and just let me know if there's anything you would like for me to pray for. And yeah, so that's all I really just wanted to tell you. Stay encouraged, be blessed, and just have an amazing day. Enjoy your life. Life isn't meant to just be thrown away, to just work the rest of your days like a slave. That's not what God has called you to be. He has so much more for you. Be all that God has called you to be, and enjoy life, and make it the best life ever. Living it for Him. And so that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe. Have an awesome day. Bye.